Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel for some Twinbrook makeovers and some room renovations. Now on the last two videos of the Avant Garde challenge, I asked if you guys would like to see Alfie made over, Bristol made over, and anybody else that I came across that Theo comes across in his daily life. And I also asked if we should finally give Goodwin Jones Good and Leslie Jones Good a room of their own in the Greenwood house, because there's some tea with that. There's some tea going on with those two, and I'll get to that later on in the video. But as you can see, this is little Alfie. He's getting a little makeover, and I decided to go through all of Alfie and Bristol's makeovers because I didn't show them as much plum love as I did for, say, Goodwin and Leslie. And then also I threw Jade in the mix because Jade has grown up into an adult, so I thought we'd give her a little bit of an adult makeover. But because it's winter time in the game, I only decided to do Jade's winter outfit on camera, but I did make over all of her outfits because they were just atrocious. But anyway, Alfie is almost done, and we're gonna move on to little Bristol. Now I had trouble deciding what kind of hair to give Bristol because I do have quite a bit of toddler hairs, and I did a video quite some time ago where I went CC shopping for toddlers, so if you guys want to check that out, I'll put that up in the right hand corner for you guys to go and click on after you watch this one. But her favorite color is spice brown, so I decided to mix spice brown and a little bit of pink for her. So Bristol lives with Jade, her mom, Jade's sister Emerald, and then her grandparents, and then also the Jones Goods live there as well, which is, it just boggles me. I never understood why, and I still don't understand why the Jones Good lives with the Greenwoods, but we'll talk about that when we get to that. So I'm just on little Bristol's formal outfit, and then we're going to move on to her sleepwear, and then her outerwear, and then her swimwear. But she is just cute as a button. I did like her hair before, but I thought I'd just put it up in a little bun, give her some bangs or a fringe, as we say here in the UK, and just make her cute as a button. And I just love her little sleepwear. So because I'm not a fan of spice brown, I did mix a lot of other colors with her favorite colors. So you've got spice brown, yellow, and pink, and she just looks like a little darling. But I'm excited for you guys to see Jade, because she looks a lot older. She looks like she's had a hard life, and I don't blame her because, you know, she's had Theo in her life and he hasn't been the nicest with Jade, but Jade's been a little crazy. But here she is. This is Jade Greenwood, and I wanted to give her a more grown-up hairstyle, but still wanted to make her look quite good, not like old and haggard, but just more grown up, if that makes sense. Now I normally wouldn't do a whole video for makeovers and room renovations. I just put it at the beginning of the Avant Garde challenge. However, there were so many that I wanted to do that I thought it deserved its own video. So here we are. That's how we made it to this point. But I had to change up her eyebrows because for some reason when she aged up, her eyebrows were all messed up and foobarred. So this is her outerwear, and then I'm going to go ahead and give her some tights. I go back and I change her her shoes at the very end because I didn't like these boots with that dress and the tights that I ended up giving her. But, you know, it's Jade and she looks exactly the same, but I pulled her hair back a little bit out of her face, and I think she looks a little bit more grown up. But this is where we start showing plum love to people, because look at that face that Goodwin Jones Good is sporting. It's just scary. And his daughter Leslie has aged up as well, and when you guys see her face, you're gonna be like, eek. But I showed both of them some plum love because they definitely needed it. So here's the tea on Goodwin Jones Good and Leslie Jones Good. So when you move to Twinbrook, Goodwin Good is living with his roommate Sinbad Rodder, and they don't get along. They don't like each other at all. So Goodwin's biography says, Goodwin has a good heart and a compassionate soul up until now. He's lived just about his whole life by the book, but he's got something new coming for him. So also when you start the game, he is romantically interested in Jenny Jones Brown, and she is pregnant with their unborn child. So if Goodwin has done everything by the book up until now, maybe having a child out of wedlock is something that he's done a little bit unconventionally. Maybe that's what his biography means when it says he's got something new coming for him: fatherhood. Now, I did a little bit of investigating because I cannot for the life of me figure out why Goodwin Jones Good is living with in the Greenwood household. So I went and checked on Jenny. Jenny, my love, has 7 kids, y'all. 7 kids and 1 grandchild, and she's in a relationship with Dudley Rackett. So Goodwin Goodwin mixed Jenny and his surnames. So I think they were married at some point. They had 3 kids together. Goodwin here has 5 kids in total, also 1 grandchild, which means he's a granddad. So, as I've said before in some of the other episodes, Goodwin is in a relationship with Pansy Prudence, hence why I could not figure out why he would be living in the Greenwood household. Well, come to find out, Emerald Greenwood is Goodwin's ex-girlfriend. Now, Goodwin has kids that are older than Leslie. So why would he take Leslie? That is a mystery. Why would he take Leslie to the Greenwood household? That is a mystery. But let's pause on that story for a second. Look at this girl's face. I had to fix her. I had to show her some plum love because eek. It's just, she's got the same pinched in nose as Goodwin has when he ages up. I fixed him, so I'm about to fix her and make sure she looks like a little dime piece because her father is a hot granddad. I had pixel thirst while I was making him over, and I couldn't believe it. But anyway, so back to this. Yeah, Goodwin has 5 kids, y'all, and he only had 3 of them with Jenny Jones Brown. So let that sink in for a minute. His ex-girlfriend is Emerald Greenwood, hence why he is living in the Greenwood household. But why did he take Leslie and not his other kids? I'm assuming because Gino Jones Good is the oldest of the Jones Good kids, that he was the unborn baby that Goodwin's biography talks about. But what's so special about Leslie? Why didn't Gino go with Goodwin when he decided to move on to first Emerald and then Pansy? I'm just ever so confused about the whole thing. So if we move on to Leslie here, her story's a little bit, clearer. She's a teenager. She's aged up. Last time we saw her, she was a child, but she's aged up. She's now in a relationship with Andre Rackett. I don't know if that name's familiar to you guys, but it should be a little bit familiar. Andre's mother is Lolly Rackett. Lolly Rackett is engaged to Hugo Wellington. Who is Hugo Wellington? Hugo Wellington is Theo Marx's brother. So what in the world happened? And also, if this couldn't get any weirder, Jenny Jones Good, Leslie's mom, is in a relationship with Dudley Rackett. I feel like there's a lot of small town vibes going on. It's just really flippin' weird, like all these relationships. This is story progression for you. This is why I love The Sims 3 and the fact that it has story progression, because it makes your towns come alive. And with the family trees, you can see who's engaged to who's had a child with who, and it makes it so much more interesting. So while you're playing your own game, things are happening in the background, and I just think that is so amazing. But I could not wrap my head around the Jones Good family living with the Greenwood family. But now we have the answer. It's because Goodwin was in a relationship with Emerald, which I wonder how Pansy feels about her boyfriend living with his ex-girlfriend and her family. That is just so strange. I feel like Theo should run for the hills, and he can't run for the hills because he's got kids with both someone in the Greenwood household and also Pansy Prudence, which, by the way, I found out when I looked at Goodwin Good's family tree. Him and Pansy have a child together, so it's just so crazy to me, and my mind is just boggled. But here we are. I have done Leslie's outfit. I've gone back to her hair yet again because I couldn't decide. I'm an indecisive sloth. Hello, welcome to my channel. If this is the first time you're hearing this, I can't make a decision to save my life. So what I wanted for Leslie was for her to be a teenager, and kind of a more childish teenager. So that's why I've got her in this sort of crazy, kooky outdoor outfit, because, you know, I wanted her to be sweet and wholesome. Maybe that's why Goodwin decided to take her instead of his other two kids that he had with Jenny. I mean, Goodwin gets around. It's just crazy that he was a compassionate soul, he had a good heart, and he was living his life by the book, and he had loads of different kids, and he's got loads of different kids by 2 different women. It's just crazy. And he's a granddad. I can't even get over that. Anyway, here we are on to the room renovations, and I decided to add on to the back of the house. Now, I redid the entirety of the Greenwood household. I didn't do it on camera because it just took me ages to do, but next time we visit the Greenwood household, you guys will see everything that I've done. It looks so much better than it did, and it made sense for me to add Goodwin and Leslie's rooms to the back of the house. Don't worry, they're not going to have to go through the kitchen and the dining room in order to get to their bedrooms. I did create a little hallway, and it just makes a lot more sense, and there's a lot more flow. But you know what? I'm gonna be really pissed off if Goodwin and Leslie decide to up and leave and move in with Pansy Prudence. Like, I've spent all this time making them bedrooms, making it so they've got their own beds, and I went in and set the bed ownership, and then I just feel like they're gonna up and leave, and I'm just gonna be really freaking annoyed if that happens. You guys, I wish I would have looked at the family trees before I did all these renovations, but anyway, I think they turned out really good. I'm really happy with the end product. Probably out of the 2, Leslie's room is my favorite, and I felt so bad while I was doing Leslie's room because if you guys remember when I initially did makeovers to fit in Bristol and also Rochelle Riddler Baker, which I'll come back to that in a second, Emerald's room is teeny tiny, and here Leslie has a 5x5 room with plenty of room, with a desk and space for her to study, space for her to read in a chair, and Emerald just has a bed and some side tables, and that is just horrible. So let's just talk about Emerald for a second. So Rochelle Riddler Baker, you remember when I couldn't figure out who the heck's kid that was? That's Emerald's child. Everyone's going about having babies with people that they don't live with, people that they're not necessarily interested in, and it's just mind-boggling. Like, Twinbrook, what is you doing? And all the elder people, there were so many old people in this town, and now I guess we're making waves for a new generation, but all the elders are dying. And speaking of elders, I did redo I think it's Oliver Greenwood, and I can't remember what his wife's name is, but I did redo their room as well because, you know, those two are always going at it. They're either woohooing or making out, and they probably don't have a lot of time left, so I wanted to give them a space that was their own, that they would love, and they could just chill in and not have to be interrupted, because I think in the last episode that I recorded, Leslie Jones Good was sleeping in Oliver Greenwood's bed, and I think Emerald went and climbed in there. I'm not too sure. Maybe Emerald and Leslie do have the best of relationship, and you know, that is why Goodwin decided to take Leslie with him instead of, I believe his eldest child is called Gino, and Gino lives somewhere with his wife and his son. I mean, Goodwin's a granddad. I mean, an attractive granddad. He's a little dime piece, like, whoa, is he attractive? But he's a granddad. That is just so weird to me. But anyway, I've rambled on through this. I'm just doing the recoloring at the moment. We're going to recolor Goodwin's room in a second. So I think what I'm going to do is love you and leave you guys with a little bit of music, and we will get back to the Avant Garde challenge. Hopefully we will be able to check out the entirety of the Greenwood household. But if you enjoyed this video, make sure to do all those cool interweb things, like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you've got that bell ding dong so you can be notified whenever I do upload. But for now, I'm gonna skedaddle. Don't be a plum stranger now, guys.